After more than 3 years of waiting, 2 Santa Clarita families will get some closure tomorrow.
This week, the Cougars will return home to face off against Grossmont at 7 p.m. at Cougar Stadium.
But as COC students may have noticed in the Honor Grove earlier this week,
develop people who build better tomorrows.
This is Kelly Price reporting from Vista Valencia for COC News.
How will this affect the rest of the job market?
Welcome to Canyons News.
Live from Mentry Hall, with news from around the Santa Clarita Valley. This is Canyons News.
Tonight on Canyons News, a Santa Clarita Valley man has been found dead after being reported missing.
We hear from an addiction specialist on a growing crisis.
And Valverde residents are expressing more concerns about the Chiquita landfill. Good evening, I'm Christian Sukic.
And I'm Brooklyn Stevenson. We begin tonight with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department mourning the loss of one of their own. LASD honored 21-year-old Deputy Daniel Chavera before transporting him from Henry Mayo to the LA County Medical Examiner in a procession. Chavera was involved in an off-duty collision near Castaic Lake Monday afternoon. He was airlifted to Henry Mayo Hospital where he later died from his injuries. Chavera joined the department a year ago and was assigned to the North County Correctional Facility. Though short-lived with the department, Sheriff Robert Luna reflected on Deputy Chavera's impact.
Incredible young man. We are so fortunate to have hired him, and he was providing excellent service here in the community, on and off duty.
The search for a missing UCSB student from Santa Clarita has come to an end. San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies say 22-year-old Tanner Prentice's body was found in Big Bear Lake near Pine Knot Marina after an extensive search. Authorities say there was no sign of foul play and that the coroner's office is investigating. Initial reports say that Tanner was with several friends at Big Bear Lake last Saturday when he was reported missing after he did not return to the rental cabin. The family is asking for privacy at this time.
Back here in Santa Clarita, the LA County Sheriff's Department is asking for the public's help in searching for a missing man. Detectives say 38-year-old Justin Gant last had contact with his family on May 15th. Officials believe Gant may be in the Santa Clarita area. The department says he suffers from depression and is known to frequent the area of Alamogordo Road and Bouquet Canyon Road. Gant's family says they're concerned for his well-being. Detectives are urging anyone with any information to contact the Sheriff's Homicide Bureau.
A substance 50 times stronger than heroin is increasingly being disguised in everyday forms, from pills to vape pens. The tragic consequences of unknowingly encountering fentanyl are now the leading cause of death for young Americans. Reporter Dakota Searcy is outside Henry Mayo Hospital with more.
Thanks, Christian. The threat of fentanyl isn't just a headline. It's a clear and present danger in our communities. The unprecedented scale of the crisis and the extreme potency of the opioid has made it a silent killer, especially for young people.
Recently, federal authorities announced a record-breaking fentanyl bust, the largest in DEA history. This major operation dealt a significant blow to the Sinaloa cartel, seizing over 400 kilograms of the deadly opioid. It's a massive amount taken off of our streets and preventing the potential for millions of lethal doses. But this huge bust highlights a much bigger and more dangerous problem, the extreme threat of fentanyl itself. Fentanyl is unlike any other drug. It's incredibly powerful, 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine and up to 50 times stronger than heroin. A tiny amount as small as a grain of salt can be deadly.
Everybody thinks they're smarter and slicker than the drug and they know how to use it and they're different than everyone else, and if they just use a little, they're safe. Bottom line, just a little could kill you if just that little has too much in it.
Fentanyl can be found in powders, liquids, and often pressed into fake pills that resemble other drugs. It's also being mixed into drugs like cocaine, heroin, and meth without people knowing. Fentanyl is also now being found in vape pens. Inhaling it this way sends the drug quickly into the bloodstream, dramatically increasing the risk of a deadly overdose.
Think of it this way.
Just a grain of salt can be fatal, and a singular sugar packet, it holds enough fentanyl to kill 500 people. This extreme danger is made even worse by just how easily fentanyl is showing up in our communities. The tragic reality is that fentanyl overdose is now the leading cause of death for young Americans aged 18 to 45, and is hitting younger people even harder, with deaths rising fastest among those aged 14 to 23. It's vital to understand that this isn't just news. It's a crisis impacting our generation directly. Young people are unknowingly taking pills or using vapes laced with fentanyl, often with deadly consequences. Because fentanyl is often hidden, it's become a silent killer in our communities, and the results are devastating.
The reality is that fentanyl often goes undetected until it's too late, signaling that its status as a silent killing, especially for young people who unknowingly come into contact with it. The epidemic is ongoing, but understanding the danger is the first critical step. Reporting live from Santa Clarita, I'm Dakota Searcy. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Dakota. At the start of the year, the Chiquita Canyon landfill stopped accepting new trash into its facility. The residents still have concerns about the landfill. Reporter Christopher Casey takes us to Castaic and Valverde, where some residents say the situation has worsened.
In most neighborhoods, community means connection. But for the towns of Castaic and Valverde, it means standing together. Shut it down! To protecting their towns from a toxic threat.
And not only wasn't just odors, it was odors that were making you instantly sick. You would get instant headaches, you'd have trouble breathing, you start coughing, you have sinus problems, a lot of real physical issues. And we're like, what the heck is going on?
For years, these two communities have protested about the practices made by the operators at Chiquita Canyon Landfill, located just off of Highway 126.
When you go outside, it has a smell, so we pretty much stay inside where you don't smell it so bad. In here, it's pretty good in here, but out there, you can smell it when you go outside, especially at night.
At the start of the year, county officials halted the acceptance of new trash to the facility. Since adding new measures, some say it has made the situation worse.
We thought this was a home that we would live in for a long time. We were raising our kids here, and to hear that it's not getting better, it's actually getting worse, and that they have no control over it, we're devastated.
It has been made known by the California Environmental Protection Agency that the polluted liquid from the landfill called leachate has expanded from 30 acres to 90.
Is that things are breaking down so quickly and at such high temperatures that whether you can see flames or not, it's heated so much that when it's like a boiling pot, when it hits the air, that's going quickly into the air.
With discussions underway to install a permanent tank to process the hazardous liquid, it has become one of the newest concerns for residents.
Again, just devastated for my neighbors. This is so wrong. They need to be putting those tanks on native land that's not on top of a landfill that's sinking.
In light of these issues, we try to reach out to Chiquita for comment, in which we have not received a response back. Reporting for Canyons News.
Breathe our air if you dare!
I'm Christopher Casey.
Since January 7th, many families in Pacific Palisades have been in a fight to rebuild their lives. Reporter Asia Haskin has the story of one man who hopes to rebuild a piece of family history that was lost in the Palisades fire.
It's been 4 months since a wildfire ripped through Pacific Palisades, leaving thousands of buildings unrecognizable, including Sunset Gardens, a family-owned 14-unit apartment building. It had been a part of Jake Downey and his family's life for more than 60 years. Now, it's gone.
Man, it is a war zone. It sure looked like a war zone.
Nearly a month had passed before Downey was able to see the damage for himself.
There really isn't much left. The devastation, when you actually see it in person, is hard to get your head around. And for me, my grandmother lived there the day I was born.
One of the tenants was his niece, who was out of town when the fire ignited.
All of the possessions that Samantha, my niece, had from her mom, her wedding ring and other iconography from Susan, is gone. And that kind of gets me, you know?
Now, Downey and his brother Mike are facing the difficult decision of whether or not to rebuild. And Downey says insurance is only covering less than half of what it would take.
The sobering reality is that My brother and I are, if we're going to do it, have to borrow a big chunk of money.
And that's only one issue the brothers are facing.
We're hoping that our building and, well, multifamily buildings are eligible for hazmat cleanup on the site. Currently, they've just been taking care of single families.
For now, it's memories and history to hold on to.
She would have us over. She had a pool in the courtyard, and we would go there and horse around as kids in the summer and see Grandma.
It was his grandmother who started it all 66 years ago.
It was harder for women to be taken seriously, and certainly in the construction trades. So she was on site calling the shots, and what she says goes. And she built her own little Taj Mahal there in 1959. She lived there until she passed in 1991.
And rebuilding will be a family affair, too.
It would mean a lot to me and my brother Mike. And if my mom, Julie, who's still with us, she's almost 88, if she's here to see that day, that would be a great day.
For Canyons News, I'm Asia Haskin.
In Southern California, we are faced with an earthly challenge, earthquakes. But how can we stay prepared to handle them? Here's reporter Joey Gomez with more.
The Earth never stops moving, from its orbit around the sun to the people on it being busy as usual, or the inside of the Earth itself. What you just saw was tectonic plate movement along a fault line in southern Asia, but here in Southern California, we're no strangers to similar events. Earthquakes happen all over the world, but we are subject to them here because of where we live relative to the fault lines. The cracks on the ground and the mountains that surround us are often due to these plates, as the internal movement of planet Earth affects us more than some people may realize.
Plate tectonics, the theory that describes how the plates move around, is kind of like a unifying theory in geology. It explains where mountains are, where volcanoes are, where deep ocean trenches are. The San Andreas Fault runs through California from the Sea of Cortez, Gulf of California, think down near the Salton Sea, Mexico-California border, all the way up through San Francisco.
In 1994, Southern California was struck by a 6.7 magnitude earthquake that saw many pieces of our home be devastated and destroyed by the disaster. Living along the San Andreas Fault, we will see another of this magnitude. But when that happens, what do we do?
It's a legitimate concern, obviously, because of where we are located in Southern California, but also because, as I mentioned, that lack of warning that we would get. But to ease concerns, I think the biggest thing that we can do is worry about what we can control, right? We can't control if an earthquake's going to happen or where it might take place, but we can control how we plan for that, whether it's a specific residence, like maybe a single-family home, all the way up to a business.
For Canyons News, I'm Joey Gomez.
The Merced to Bakersfield segment of the high-speed rail project that was supposed to cost around $35 billion to build may need an additional $3 billion. The California High-Speed Rail Authority released their update in March, detailing that their segment from Merced to Bakersfield will cost anywhere from $35 to $38 billion. The entire project is estimated to cost over $100 billion. The rail was originally proposed in 2008 and was scheduled to connect San Francisco to Los Angeles in just 3 hours. By 2020, an environmental review has approved the expansion to Merced and Bakersfield, but the authority has not yet received the funding. The delays are not fully known, but some transit experts believe it to be because the project was launched before everything was set and ready. For now, there are still many unknowns about the project, but the hope is that it will still get done.
For California college students facing tough commutes, One Rail Line is offering a significant discount to help students steamroll through transportation challenges. Reporter Terry Collier has more on how the rail service is trying to keep students' educational journeys on track.
Commuting for the college student in California can be a challenge, but a particular company is all aboard in helping students avoid the transportation gridlock.
Our investment was in the next generation of student riders. If we introduce students to public transit early, we can help make sustainable travel a familiar and reliable option as these people grow up and make more sustainable decisions about how they commute.
Calculating dedicated time needed for schoolwork and the cost of commuting are major deciding factors when choosing a college.
I take a 50-question quiz for my Pan-African Studies class, and usually I do that on my commute home. So definitely I do a lot of work on the train.
The Free Student Adventure Pass pilot aimed to introduce new student riders. Although successful according to Metrolink, it will conclude on June 30th and relaunch on July 1st with a student discount of 50% off.
Then I usually take the J line from Union Station all the way here, and then just walk back over to the dorm.
With Metrolink's aim to alter California's car culture behavior, students now account for 36% of the uptake of ridership on the Metrolink rail.
You can also go to recreational activities, bike trails, the beach, etc. It doesn't stop there just because it's called Student Adventure Pass.
Students can now get on the right track, making their college journey a successful destination. Reporting for Canyons News, this is Terry Mitchell-Collier.
It's not too late. Students can apply for a Metrolink Student Adventure Pass before the free option expires on June 30th.
Coming up next on Canyons News.
Award-winning filmmaker Mike Ott joins us live for a conversation on independent films.
And the COC men's golf team won back-to-back state titles. Hear how they did it. Stay tuned.
College of the Canyons creates possibilities.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
Santa Clarita residents may head to the farmer's market for fresh produce, but one local man sees something more, a way to bring people together. Canyons News reporter Tracy Maroney has more.
Every Saturday, hundreds gather at the Newhall Farmers Market. But for Larry McClements, managing local markets, it's about more than fresh produce. It's about building community, and it all started with a single peach.
Grabbed one, got in the car, drove away, took a bite, and I almost just had to pull over on the side of the road. I said, this is the most amazing peach I've ever had in my life. It's never tasted this good.
That bite sparked a passion. Today, Larry manages 3 certified farmers markets across Santa Clarita, each one carefully handpicked.
These are all small family farms that are out here. They're proud of what they grow. They bring the best quality you can get in Santa Clarita, and nobody can compete with what we have out here.
Alongside the farmers, hand-picked artisans offer everything from homemade pizza and croissants to fresh seafood, pasture-raised meats, and European cheese.
Raclette also melts very well.
This is raclette?
This is our raclette right here.
I think I'm leaning raclette.
Really nice. It melts.
His workday may end at the market, but his passion continues in the classroom, where he's training to become a chef.
The class I've taken has been wonderful. I am going to go and get my culinary arts degree. That is my goal.
But Larry wants to take what he's learning in the kitchen and share it with others.
And I also would like to teach in our own community here low cost or no cost cooking lessons so that people can learn how to make a simple meal at home with our market ingredients.
From farm to table and from student to teacher, Larry is helping Santa Clarita savor what's local. For Canyons News, I'm Tracy Maroney.
Artificial intelligence is helping students study, plan, and stay productive, but there's a hidden cost behind every prompt, and it's not just electricity. Jessica Makashima reports on the unexpected role water plays in powering AI.
It feels like magic. Type a prompt, get an instant answer, but behind every AI response is a massive server farm doing the heavy lifting. While these server farms execute heavy lifting, they typically heat up very fast, and most server farms are cooled with water, sometimes thousands of gallons per minute.
But it's something that people will have to grapple with individually and see if they're going to be adopters of this and what measures can they take to reduce some of that usage. So we talk about things like normal conservation at home. The SCV Water Agency offers a number of rebates and incentives for making your home more efficient, more water wise.
In 2022, AP News reported that Microsoft used over 1.7 billion gallons of water, a lot that went toward training AI models like the one behind ChatGPT.
We're talking about with AI and data centers is using a large amount of water all the time to constantly cool down systems. Well, we don't have any of those here in the Santa Clarita Valley, and it'd be a lengthy process for any of those to ever get approved or developed. We do take into account at SCV Water and through the different planning and permitting authorities what supply we have available.
It may not look like much, but just a quick chat with AI may be doing more than you think. But if every tap drains a little more of this, at what point do we run out?
I mean, either way, they're still going to use it. That's the way I see it.
This is a fantastic tool that can solve a lot of the world's problems and can make things more efficient and really help us as a society, but we need to learn more about it.
Our phones make AI feel effortless. AI is here to stay, and it's changing the way we live, study, and work. But behind every prompt is a crucial resource continuing to deplete. And for some students growing up in a changing climate, it's a connection worth noticing. For Canyons News, I'm Jessica Makashima.
One ranch in Santa Clarita that helps veterans with PTSD through equine therapy has been forced to relocate. Luke Harris has more on the story.
Blue Star Ranch is a local ranch in Santa Clarita leased by Nancy Z. Recently, the owner of the property sold it, and everyone on the property was given a 30-day notice before having to leave. They are currently looking to relocate their animals and equipment to a new place.
Yeah, we're gonna have to relocate because the owner sold the ranch that we currently lease. So we'll have to find a new location, and we'll need to, pack up everything, get trailers for the horses and ship. So it's gonna be a lot of work, and, we're hoping to get the help of the community and whoever can help,
The ranch's goal is to help those suffering through PTSD.
Yeah, the goal of Blue Star Ranch is, help veterans. We want to help veterans, and we're also going to be doing first responders get help for PTSD. We do equine assisted therapy, and it's something, different, and we hope to help, those get it who need the help.
The ranch has a special place in a lot of people's heart, but what does it mean to the staff?
Well, most importantly, it means a lot to our veterans. My husband's a Vietnam veteran, so I'm very familiar with the military style of life and how things go when you return from deployment. We, train people to become soldiers, send them out. When they come back, they don't come back the same people. And the first ones to notice is spouses, especially.
Blue Star Ranch has done so much for people who suffer through PTSD, and Nancy looks to continue that at a different property with her animals and therapists. For Canyons News, I'm Luke Harris.
Old Town New Hall's Art Walk brought the community together, and inside one gallery, a soaring exhibit captured visitors' attention. Leah Pastorio brings us more.
The Old Town New Hall's Art Walk drew dozens of visitors to Main Street, where local artists showcased their work and families enjoyed a number of activities. And just a few steps off Main Street, inside the Santa Clarita Artists Association Gallery, visitors found a special exhibit taking flight.
I think the art walk is great for exposure. There's a lot of people coming through that have never seen us before. We're kind of tucked back here in a corner, so if you don't know that we're here, you might not ever see us. So it's a really good opportunity for us to meet more people in the community.
The Things with Wings exhibit features 17 local artists interpreting the idea of wings through different mediums, from acrylic and watercolor to handmade jewelry. This free community event is part of an effort to spotlight Santa Clarita's growing arts and entertainment district.
It's great for the kids too. Like today, a lot of kids are coming in and it gives them more visibility about art, whether or not they want to get into it. It's a great pastime, it's a great hobby, you know, and it could be a career as well. Like for me, I'm a full-time artist now.
The art walk wasn't just about showcasing art, it was about connection through paint, sculpture, and conversation to remind people of the creativity that exists right here in their own neighborhoods.
So we believe that art is essential to our community and everyone should be participating in art.
For Canyons News, I'm Leah Pastorio.
The book fair is here and is in swing for readers and authors. Here's Sophia Mistretta with an event that brought creators together.
College of the Canyons Book Fair is held to invite all types of authors and upcoming creative writers to indulge in their passions. From children's books to adult fantasy, this fair even showcases movie producers who want to sink their foot into the chapter realm, word for word.
My friend Tony Herring, we were friends in junior high school at Arroyo Seco, and he called me up, and I have a book coming out, so I have a documentary about the Rocket Man getting back into it after so many years of not flying. And then I decided to write a book, and he's like, this would be a perfect place for you. So I came here to promote my pre-sales of my book, The Last Rocket Man.
Showcasing these written works of art is a process for most and a challenge for some, but one in particular is just getting started.
I also have a link to share the document with people if they're curious to read pre-publishing, because we're looking towards the steps of publishing. So if we can get it published and into a physical book, that would be so awesome.
Events like these bring the community together as there is something for everyone. Aliens to food recipe books are widely available. Even if you're in a pinch and need to catch up on that last chapter of your favorite series, the library can come to you. I'm Sophia Mistretta with Canyons News.
Now turning to entertainment, award-winning filmmaker Mike Ott is known for his independent films, but was also once a COC professor. We go live to reporter Victoria Suarez for a special interview with Ott.
Thank you, Christian. Today I'm here with film director Mike Ott.
Am I allowed to cuss on here, or is it?
No, you are not. Okay. No. We're here with Mike Ott with a very special sense of humor.
I'm serious. I wanted to cuss.
In his previous years, he was a MEA professor, but now we're here to chat, talk about his recent successes and films. So thank you so much for being here, Mike, and no, you cannot cuss.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first question, following after your debut film, Analog Days, Little Rock really put you on the map, winning several awards. Looking back, what do you think it was about the film that really resonated with the audience and critics?
I don't know. I don't know what they liked about it. It's not a very good movie. I'm surprised that it did so well. I mean, I wouldn't watch it.
Really?
Probably not. I mean, I think at the time there wasn't a lot going on, maybe, but I found this kid Corey, who I think is a real special character, and he's in it. I think maybe that's why I did well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
I mean, just some people walk around the desert.
Yeah, but the story's like so simple, but it was moving. Like it kind of made me cry a little. Yeah, seriously.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah.
I made a much better film called Kid Icarus, which is about COC, which I think everyone should see. I think Dave might even have a cameo in it. I'm not sure. Yeah.
We'll see about that. So let's fast forward from 2010 to 2024. You released a chilling drama film, McVeigh. It takes on an incredibly complex, controversial topic. Out of all the notorious terrorists in American history, what drew you to Timothy McVeigh to make him your focal point in storytelling?
Who are the other terrorists? Who else could I choose from, you think?
I don't even know. I mean,
you don't know.
I
mean, it's Kaczynski, right? I think about Tim. I was just surprised there wasn't anything about him.
Yeah.
You know, there hadn't been a movie made about him already. And kind of the more that I researched him, I realized like you don't really know anything about him.
Right.
So it became this kind of like never-ending rabbit hole where you would read a book supposed to be about him and like you learn less about him by the time you get to the end of the book. And there was something about him that was very there's only one interview. There's the interview with him on I think 60 Minutes, and he just seemed kind of full of, I can't say
right.
Scheiße, that's German.
Yeah.
I just didn't really believe him. I
Yeah.
just thought he was kind of trying to act like this like tough guy, and I also thought it was weird. He's one of the only people I've ever seen like that was going to get killed who didn't apologize and didn't find God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there was something about it where you kind of wonder, like, I don't know, did they really kill him? I've never seen someone be that confident when they're that close to the end.
Yeah.
Which was odd. That was something I thought about later. But yeah, and after making the movie, I still don't feel like I really have a good grasp on what happened. It's kind of the JFK conspiracy on crack.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah. It's very like untold, very secretive.
And then I think they just came out with 2 documentaries, new ones, which are kind of a bummer because they really don't talk about any of the possible conspiracies, which is obviously there was some kind of conspiracy.
Right. Yeah.
I think people forget that a conspiracy only has to be 2 people.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be a bunch. So, and also the story that the government tells is the story that McVeigh told. And so, like, why anyone would trust McVeigh is also very odd to me.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why take his word? So, interesting enough, I mean, as a film director, how do you even decide which stories to tell? Is it more about the characters, the place, what they did, or the cultural relevance?
That's a good question. I don't really remember how we picked. I mean, part of it was we wanted to incorporate some of the conspiracy stuff without it being a conspiracy movie, which is funny because like most of the like all the internet nerds hate the movie because they're like, there's no conspiracy.
Right.
But if I would have made it a conspiracy movie, it never would have got made.
Right. Yeah.
Purely so like you have to be able to drop some of those kind of hints in there. Yeah, I don't know how we chose what to do. Like some of the stories, like some of the things we chose were some of the just things I found interesting about him. And maybe kind of hoping by doing it, something would like be enlightened about him, which it wasn't. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not really sure how we chose it.
That's okay.
Yeah. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we'll do the final question.
Is this the extra question?
No.
I'd like to get the extra question, Dave. Since I came all the way out here, at least should be able to get the extra question.
Okay. I'll try to fit it in really quickly. When the audience walks away from McVeigh, what do you hope stays with them? And as well as on a more broader level, what's something you wish people understood about indie filmmaking?
Ooh, first one is something to stay with them. I don't know. I guess. Well, I think there's like so much to know about McVeigh, and people have such little interest. So I guess maybe that they would look it up and find out all this kind of weird stuff that that's kind of out there that the news never talks about.
Right.
What was the thing about indie filmmaking?
What do you wish people understood more about indie filmmaking?
I don't know if I wish anything. I think that people that want to be an indie filmmaker, they should just know they're going to be broke.
Right.
I think a lot of people get into film for this kind of like idea that I mean, first of all, celebrities are boring. So if you get to meet a celebrity, it sucks. And you know, as far as making money, there's not much money. And I don't think that's just with indie filmmaking. I just think in general, like, film is dead. So I think, like, and we were talking about that bad review that I got. I was thinking about, like, how long I had worked on the movie, and this guy that was, like, so mean about the movie.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've got a bunch of bad reviews. It's not about a bad review. But how dismissive someone is about something that somebody creates. You know what I mean? That you could work at 8 years, and this guy's like, this thing sucks, don't watch it. And you're just like, oh, F off, sorry.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe that, like, well, I think maybe every film critic should have to make a movie, because I think you understand all the work that goes into it, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are unfortunately out of time, but thank you so much for being with us. It was a pleasure speaking with you, Mike. And it was a really good time.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, so now back to you in the studio. Thank you.
Thanks, Victoria. Well, spring is usually off-season for most football programs. That isn't quite the case for your Cougar football team. Here's Jack Tyder with more.
Throughout April and May, Your Canyon's football team returns to Cougar Stadium for their spring practices in preparation for the 2025 season.
Spring is huge for us. A lot of it is to obviously prepare, like you said, for the season, get our guys out. You know, we're learning our plays, learning the scheme, and then getting to put it into action in practice.
You want to be, 100% better each and every day. You want to get better each and every day, man. These guys out here, they work their butt off.
Players and coaches look to build off a successful 8-3 season, a season that saw the benefits of a well-bonded team.
We were close last year, but this team's even closer, and I really like it, and I'm really excited for this season. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like we need to just keep that and keep the work that we got going on.
If you have that connection and that closeness with your teammates, it just gives you the drive to work harder and build on each other.
Players use this extra time on the field to hone their individual skills, in hopes of starting next season a step ahead of the competition.
The D-line is front line, so I got to figure out, what gap I need to do. It's not hard. I just got to do my job and then help my guys out.
Just hoping that we can, hang another banner up, for sure. That's the all-time goal, just to hang another banner up and just have a great year with these guys,
For Canyons News, this was Jack Tyder.
Student athletes go the distance and sprint towards their goals, leading to great rewards and results. Canyons News reporter Emily Veramontes shares more.
Something special is happening on the track at College of the Canyons. Two standout athletes have pushed through a season of intense training for their shot at a state title, and this journey means more than just medals.
It means a lot to me because the whole team works really hard, and for me to be able to go as far as I can, it means a lot because I'm representing the school and the team and my coach and everyone's hard work.
Victoria and Hazel earned their way to the 3C 2A state championship after a season defined by grit, growth, and goal setting, with Hazel being crowned conference champion in the 400 and Victoria placing 4th in the 5K. They've each become one of the best in their events. Earning a spot at this meet wasn't easy, but both athletes rose to the challenge. Hazel will compete for the 400-meter state title, while Victoria takes on the 5K.
Well, last week, I did have a little hiccup. I got really excited. I came out too fast on that first 200, so I just had to hold on to the end. But what I'm going to do differently, I'm going to run it right.
Last week's race went out really slow, and I ran about 2 minutes slower than my PR. So I think next week I want to go all out and just give it my best.
Through every early morning and long workout, one thing has remained constant: the support and bond of their teammates.
Overall, this was a team that was very close. They worked really good together. They were very good at picking each other up when maybe one or a few were down.
And when it comes to race day, that mindset is what truly matters.
And all we ever ask our athletes is to do the best they can on any given day. Could we win a state title? Any one of these athletes win a state title? Yes. You never know on any given day what could happen.
Canyons News, I'm Emily Viramontes.
Hazel sprinted to the finish line to write her name in COC's track and field history book, winning the individual 3C2A state championship in the 400 meter and earning junior college All-American honors, while Victoria placed 6th in the 5K, just 16 seconds off of her PR.
For the second consecutive year and 7th time in 11 tournaments, COC men's golf has clinched the 3C2A state championship title. The team traveled up near Monterey on May 11th through the 12th and competed against 8 other schools for the trophy. Cougars golf finished first overall with a team score of 762, just ahead of Reedley. Their golf squad turned in a score of 765. 2 COC golfers finished top 5 in scoring, one of them being Carson Diaz, who captured the tournament's individual title in a sudden death playoff. Diaz carded a field low of 148 with 73 in the first round and 75 in the second.
I think my putting was pretty good. I drove the ball well, and I didn't get too upset the whole round. Like I was pretty just focused, I'd say. We're all competitors. We all compete with each other, and that drove us to get better together and respect each other. And yeah, it was a good team environment.
That does it for this edition of Canyons News. I'm Christian Sukic. Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com.
And I'm Brooklyn Stevenson. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our X handle, canyonsnews_COC, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.